If you've been to any local grocery store in the past few days, I'm sure you've wondered the same thing I did. Why is there no toilet paper anywhere to be found? In this video, I'm going to be talking about what this possible recession means for e-commerce and dropshipping as a whole. I'm going to be telling you exactly how this is affecting my business and of course some of the things I'm doing to mitigate the effects. Now of course we all know what caused this. I can't really say because I'm not really trying to get this video demonetized, but just to clear things up, I am not an expert in this and I'm by no means making this video in order to make anyone panic. In fact, while this is a terrible thing to happen to society in the short term, I truly believe that once this is all said and done, the e-commerce industry will be bigger than ever and stronger than ever. Not gonna lie, I wasn't planning on making this video, okay? I know everybody says that, but it's true. I asked you guys on Instagram what video you want me to make next, and this was by far the highest requested thing amongst a couple other things, but still, this was highly requested. So of course, the first thing that you need to know is yes, this is affecting dropshipping. This is affecting all of e-commerce in general. So for example, my personal business, we've been shipping everything from the US, but even then I thought when this started happening in February, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. This really sucks for people, but at least we're shipping from the US. We're safe. No, that is not what happened. Of course, yes, our shipping times are really quick, which is awesome, but our lead times for production are literally like almost tripled now, which really sucks. It really affects cash flow. And even though a lot of our suppliers right now are outside of China, unfortunately they all have business in China, like at least some part of their supply chain involves China, so that's of course delayed everything. So yeah, it's really sucked in the short term. And this is the same thing with dropshipping. Obviously I'm well informed on the shipping times from AliExpress going up, so it's not like I'm alone, and it's not like you're alone if you've been experiencing a decrease in sales. This is happening across the whole industry, so we're all in this together, which is something that is at least keeping me sane. Now in these times, it's unavoidable to see people asking everywhere, is this a bad time to build my brand, to get into e-commerce, to build my dropshipping store? And more often than not, that's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think if you're trying to look for the perfect time to do something, you'll never end up doing it. There's always reasons why not to do something, so just make sure that you don't get caught in the habit of looking for the perfect time, whether it be for investing or for getting into a new business venture or learning something that you've been wanting to do or anything of that sort. Just make sure that you don't get into the habit of trying to find the perfect time to get started. But honestly, if you're running an e-commerce business, a dropshipping business, whatever it is, the best thing that you can do right now is treat this as not a time for expansion, of course. So scale down your ad spend, scale down your operations until this issue gets like figured out in the next like 8 weeks, I would say. And just treat this time as a really good time to reflect on your business, set up your financials. I mean, taxes are due on April 15th, whether this thing keeps going on or not. So get your taxes done. Okay, so after I made this part, my accountant actually informed me that the US government is postponing the April 15 tax payment deadline for another 90 days. So I guess you have a little more time to procrastinate, but still, this is a great time to get that stuff done. Set up your systems a little better, maybe go over your spreadsheets, you know, just do those little things that you've been delaying on. This is the perfect time to do that. And of course, if you haven't even started a dropshipping or e-commerce business in general, this is the time to start learning about it and just really educating yourself with some of the free content that you can find here on YouTube. So yeah, this really sucks in the short term. Buying behavior is down. People aren't buying as much things, but the silver lining of this all is I think since so many people are like quarantined now, some people are even working from home, people are starting to realize that the digital world is like the way to go. You have to understand that we will get past this. Of course, it's good to be prepared and take the precautions necessary to be safe, but we will overcome this, and when we do, it will forever change the way we look at the online world. It is always out of these tragedies that we make the biggest strides in society. Look at this as 9/11's impact on TSA. It completely changed the way airport security is run forever. Now, of course, I'm not guaranteeing anything. Nobody can predict the future, but I do think it's good to be optimistic. And if you've been really feeling overwhelmed by all this, make sure that you're taking the time to just get your mental health figured out. You can always try to message me on Instagram if you really need some personal advice or anything, or you can just come back to this video and just remind yourself that everything will be okay. Because you guys already know I try to keep it positive as often as I can. In fact, let me show you a little something quick. So this is my setup here. It's pretty professional. Got a couple boxes. what you guys haven't seen is actually this little wall right here. So these are notes that I've kept here for like literally about a year and a half. And what it says is just my important reminders. But the last one here is the one that I wanted to obviously address today, which is that nothing is negative. You learn from everything and you decide how to perceive things. I did also read an article that talked about how Amazon is actually hiring 100,000 new distribution workers to keep up with the online shopping surge caused by this whole issue. So I guess I shouldn't say that buying behavior is down across the whole e-commerce industry, but I do think that for things outside of necessities such as fashion and beauty, conversion rates are probably lower. But honestly, I'm just basing this off of my own experience of what I've heard from my friends. Now, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of unemployment numbers out yet, but if you really take into account the fact that we may be going into an economic recession, this is actually insane, right? I'm pretty sure companies right now are actually reducing their costs and laying people off. And here's Amazon seeing a huge spike in their sales and having to hire new people to actually keep up with the demand. So e-commerce continues to be, in my opinion, the most scalable and sustainable online venture to get into. There's only gonna be more people shopping online after all this is over. I mean, I've been personally self-quarantined for months now, so I already know that I can basically sustain myself from just my apartment. So yeah, my business is taking a hit. I'm sure a lot of other e-commerce businesses are taking a hit, but luckily, like I said, this is a good time to reflect on everything. I'm personally spending a lot more time in the stock market and making really well-educated investments in Alibaba, some ETFs, some real estate trust. I've been going over our financials and just really taking the time to do those tedious things that I've been procrastinating on. That's the most productive thing you can do right now. And it's not the end of the world. Like, yes, this is gonna set us back a couple months or maybe multiple months. It's not gonna kill e-commerce. It's not gonna kill Shopify. It's not gonna kill dropshipping. So just make sure that you understand that. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Just keep your thoughts positive and make sure that you make the most out of these times. Warren Buffett has a really, really great quote that I absolutely love, and it's so relevant to today. And obviously this man's been through like every recession in the country, so I'm pretty sure we can trust his advice here. But he says that be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Right now is the time to be greedy. And obviously I don't mean to go out and buy all the masks at your local store and flip them on Amazon or something. Obviously everyone's got their own moral compasses. I don't think that's necessarily ethical, but then again, some people would say that even drop shipping is unethical. And I do understand the concept of supply and demand, so I can kind of see both sides of the equation here. That's definitely not something I'm taking part in, and I honestly would recommend you guys to step away from that as well. But yeah, right now, if you have some money that you've been planning on investing or that you're just sitting on, it would be smart to invest in some good companies that you really have a lot of faith in, and of course that have good financials, because then at least your money's not just sitting there, it's actually growing, you're putting it to work. Of course, don't go all in on just day one. What I'm doing personally is investing just a little bit every day. It's like basically impossible to know when this is gonna end, so don't try to time the market too much. Just make sure that you're investing a little bit every single day, because everything right now is basically on a 50% off sale. So just make sure that you are taking advantage of the times when it comes to investing. But like I said, just make sure that you're investing smart. And just real briefly, guys, let me know in the comments if you want me to make a future video about the stock market and how I'm investing in it. I'm really trying to inspire you guys to just really live your best financial lives. So definitely expect some finance videos in the near future, but please let me know in the comments if you'd like to see anything specifically. And of course, if you could just quickly take the time to smash that like button, my channel would greatly appreciate it. Now, what I do think could be another setback is the sentiment behind made in China. Made in China things already had a little bit of a bad reputation. So I think customers are gonna be increasingly more looking towards a better value in terms of quality. So one thing that I think going forward in the future that you'll have to care more about is the quality of your products. I think if you want to run a sustainable business, you have to, if you actually want to be making money like consistently, I think you'll have to start really paying attention to the quality of your products, even if it's made in China, of course. Almost everything's made in China. So obviously if you can step out away from China, that could be really good. But beyond that, you can just try to find the best sort of suppliers within China or wherever you're getting your stuff from to just continue to improve quality. And if you're just drop shipping from AliExpress, a great thing that you can do is to actually order your product from different suppliers on AliExpress itself and determine which one is actually the best in terms of quality, shipping and packaging. So basically just going a little bit above and beyond the average dropshipper that's just selling from AliExpress, putting in that little bit of extra work to determine good quality and stuff is gonna be a huge move, and it'll actually open up a ton of opportunities for your store down the line. So just make sure that you're trying to think a little bit more long term. Like I said, this is a time to be thinking long term. The short term is not looking good, but the long term opportunity that's being created by this quote unquote recession is invaluable. You probably won't experience anything else like this in the near future. So, and of course, I'm not saying that we are in a recession. Like, I'm not an economist here, even though I did go to college for economy for a couple of years. I don't know if this is the recession or not. Nobody really knows that, but judging by the way the stock market is behaving and how much panic there's around the world, I do think that this might send us into an economic recession if we aren't in one already. But that's nothing to panic about. Just stay positive, invest your money wisely, and invest your time wisely. There's no time to waste. But seriously guys, especially if you're under quarantine right now, make sure that you're not wasting your time just watching Netflix or just trying to pass the time. Now I saw a pretty motivating post, not really sure if it is fact checked or anything, but I saw that it said Isaac Newton also worked from home during a pandemic and actually ended up discovering gravity. So shout out my man Isaac. I'm glad that he wasn't just Netflix and chilling while he was in the pandemic. Imagine where we'd be if he didn't just stay home to grind. So that could be you. Make sure you start getting educated on digital marketing or whatever it is that you want to get into. Right now is the time. Like, I've been having more time than ever, so I've been spending a lot of time learning about design and things that really interest me that could really benefit our brands. Because you guys know I got a little bit of a plan here. My plan is to have 3 brands. One of them is our fashion brand because I love fashion. The other one is a consumable brand where we're gonna have a subscription service involved. And the last one is an education brand, which is just everything involved with what I'm doing here on YouTube. And that's basically gonna be my life's work. I'm already like determined to make it happen. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just wanted to give you my objective opinion here and just how this is all affecting my business. But yeah, this video was highly requested by you guys. I really appreciate you guys giving me these video ideas on Instagram. It really helps. But with that being said, make sure you like this video if you found it informative and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be seeing you in my next video. Peace.